Program paid for by Right Path Real Estate does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of the staff, management, or ownership of this station. It's time to get on the right path with Right Path Real Estate Radio with Tom Perry. Get the answer to your question that's keeping you from taking action and succeeding today.
Welcome to the show. Please come inside.
Get ready. The guy that will put your fears behind you is on the air now. Taking calls at 713-785-1817. Toll free 877-881-0271. Now here's your host, Tom Perry.
Mike's hot.
Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Right Path Real Estate Radio. I got to give you more space. 713-785-1817.
Got me, man.
Sorry, man. Well, you know, I'm trying to use a Mac, and I'm not a huge Mac fan. And but I left my computer in the wrong spot. So anyhow, so we're up and going, hopefully pretty soon. And
Good morning, everybody. Happy Hump Day.
yeah, so I'm joined this is Tom Perry, joined live in the studio with Daniel, and we're with Right Path Real Estate. Want to help you reach your better future.
Absolutely.
In fact, title for the day is: are there any habits you need to change in order to get to your goals? And, you know, one of the habits, like we just had a Wealth Through Real Estate Academy this past weekend. And one of the things we talked about, there's actually two things. One is, do you value your time? How do you value your time? And, you know, some people always give the answer, oh, time is priceless. You know, I can get more money, but I can't get more time. Yeah. You know, I don't know. I don't know how to value my time. Or it's worth $1 million an hour, you know, something along those lines. And really, it's kind of a simple exercise. You got to decide how much you want to make this next year. And once you decide how much you want to make, then it's a matter of, like, just doing the math. Like, let's say you want to make $100,000 next year. Then, you know, let's say that there's 50 weeks in a year. Now, I know there's actually 52.
Of course,
so, but I'm an Aggie.
You want to take a break.
Simple math.
You're an Aggie.
I'm an Aggie, right? And so just take, you know, 2,000, you know, is the number of dollars per week that you need to make if you're working 50 weeks out of the year. So because 2,000 times 50 equals 100, right?
Correct.
So make $100,000 a year. Now, if you say, hey, I'm going to work 40 hours a week or 50 hours a week, whatever that is, let's say 40 hours a week because I'd rather over-budget my time, right?
Yeah.
So that's $50 an hour.
Yes.
So you need to be able to earn, on average, about $50 an hour in order to make $100,000 a year. And then, you know, if it's $200,000 a year, it's $100 an hour. If it's $300,000 a year, it's $150 an hour, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to start thinking in terms of, am I doing tasks that are worthy of that time?
Correct.
Dollar amount.
We actually had one person participating in the exercise this weekend. He didn't quite understand the instructions or how to get to his number, but he took his last wholesale deal.
Yeah, right.
That took him 4 hours and what he made on that and divided it by 4.
Right.
And I think he came back with a number that was 1,200 and something or something like that.
It's like $4,500 an hour.
Was it 4,500?
Yeah,
it was
I
like,
think so. Right.
Hey, that's not how that works.
No, it's not.
You can't duplicate that 40 hours a week.
Yeah, it'd be tough. I mean, you know, it'd be great if you could, you should do nothing else.
Of course.
Right? I mean, so in fact, you can't even afford to be in that class, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
If you can do that consistently every single time, but what we know is that's not the actual number that it takes on average to get the deal. It takes about 40 to 60 hours of result producing activities.
Correct.
Right, and then it takes also about $5,000 to $7,000 of marketing dollars, right? So I'm rebooting my Mac, so I'm
no worries.
Yeah, a little distracted. I think that should be it. So, all right. So that's the first thing, because without doing that, you really can't make the decision about, am I doing the right thing with my time? And, you know, I've seen people do all kinds of things with their time that you know, obviously don't. Well, I'll give you an example. That when I first got into the construction business, you know, I was doing due diligence, and the guy that I was asking me to partner with him on his handyman business. He said, hey, I think you could run the business better than me, and so therefore, let's partner up. And I said, well, let me do some due diligence. And one day I went and rode with him to see what a typical day was like. And we went to a lot of different stores. I mean, like 3 Home Depots, 2 Lowe's, and a McCoy's to pick up materials, take them to job sites. And so that we went through this exercise just to say, why are you doing this task? Because I think sometimes, when people are working in a business, they oftentimes get stuck working in the business. So then, are we doing the highest and best use of our time?
Correct.
Could we hire somebody to do that aspect of it for cheaper than what it takes us to do it ourselves?
And if your time is valued at $50 an hour and you're spending an hour to save $20,
Yeah, right.
right? You might have that mixed up a little bit.
Yes, that's exactly right. Well, apparently I don't know what the login information is.
Hey, Andy, if you know the password for the Right Path Facebook page, can you text us?
No, it's not that. It's the login for the
The
Mac
login
computer.
for the Black Mac that we use for
Yeah,
presentations.
Right, exactly. So anyhow, so there's that, and then the second thing that we were talking about is, so first you've got to value the time, and then the second thing is we find that people don't necessarily have a goal, and in fact, my daughter was in the first days, the first half of the first day of the Wealth Through Real Estate Academy, and so she was there, I guess 4 or 5 hours. And she's 13, and it's so fun to watch the excitement and enthusiasm she has about life, where she is in school and how well she's doing in school and all those things.
Yeah.
But everything is possible for her at that age.
Absolutely.
I mean, she's really got a blank slate, and she has the ability to dream. But the older that we get, we start giving up on a lot of our dreams.
Especially if we get caught up in the system that is laid out for us, right?
Right.
You start following the rules and doing what everybody tells you should be doing, and then you realize, hey, I forgot about what my plans were. I forgot about what my dreams were. When you were a kid and you were 10 and 12 years old, I mean, I can remember laying in the grass as a kid with a buddy of mine and talking about what the future was going to be like, right?
Right.
And as we get older, I don't know if it's we just become blind to those dreams, or life, responsibility, and those kind of things take over. That's when we talk about being able to get people out of the matrix and get the financial burden of this world off of them, so they can start to remember what those dreams were. And that's one of the big things that we do here that really excites me when I see people get through that.
Yeah, because once you get in touch with your dreams again, now you've got a goal that you can measure, hold yourself accountable to. If you say, hey, I want to make $150,000, flipping houses this year. Okay, so let's break that down into bite-sized chunks, and let's dictate based on that, how many houses do you need to do? And so you can quantify it, you can measure
Yes.
it, you can look at either how many hours you need to do that, or how much money you need from a marketing standpoint, and you start building it, by design as a business. You start plugging those things in, to the spreadsheet and all that, building a business by design.
So another thing for me that comes with when you're talking about valuing time, it's not just how you value your own time, but it's how you value other people's time as well.
That's good. Yeah.
Right. So for me, I can always tell if somebody values their time by how they value my time.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So we try to have a certain culture here, and I understand that world it takes over, and we're in Houston, Texas, and traffic is whatever you want to call it, but I plan ahead for that kind of stuff. Right, so we have events all the time, but there's always a few folks that can't seem to get there within a reasonable amount of time.
Right,
and then for me that kind of shows, hey, either you didn't plan well,
right,
or maybe you don't value your time
right.
as much. What I've seen is successful people
right.
are more often on time than not.
Right.
And unsuccessful people tend to show up pretty much late to everything in life.
Yes. Yeah, which is almost like they're not really apologetic about it either. I mean, they're like, well, it's almost like they justify it. I'm coming from really a long way.
Yes.
There's and I'm not saying that successful people are never ever.
No, it happens absolutely,
but it is definitely the exception and not like the habit, right?
Correct.
I mean, you probably know people that are always like 10 or 15 minutes late.
They live their life that way,
right?
And the people around them expect it.
Yes, and now I remember in school. I thought it was that. But I remember in school, like when I was in high school, that if I showed up, 5 minutes late to something, then it didn't like to class. If I showed up, like I had first period accounting class my senior year of high school, and the teacher would lock the door at 5 minutes.
Now you're going to the office trying to figure out how to get back into class.
And if you were there 4 minutes after the bell, you were tardy. If you were there at the 5 minute mark, she locked the door and you were absent.
Yep. At some point, your tardy becomes an absence.
Yes, that's exactly right. And so it is a little bit amazing because, I know that we've heard it said before, and I believe it's a cliche that has truth behind it, that part of success in life is just showing up.
Yes.
Right?
Well, that saying should go, part of success on life is showing up on time.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Because it's not just showing up. Because, if I've got an event going from 6:30 to 7:30 and you call me at 7:20 and want to get in the door, it's you showed up.
Yeah,
right?
You did show up technically.
But you might have missed the boat.
Technically, you were there. That's right. So, okay, well, so what are some habits that you see that most people need to change in order to reach their goals?
I would say, showing up is probably one of the main ones, on time and all that good stuff.
Sure.
I'd say a lot of people, I'm a Gary Vee fan, right?
Yes,
I don't believe in everything he says, but I love listening to him.
Right.
And one of the things that he said one day that really kind of stuck with me is he talked about how people plan their lives. How people plan their lives.
Yeah, I got it. Go ahead.
They plan their lives and they have these goals that are set out for years,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I've got a 5-year plan.
Yes.
Right? So actively, by year, they have a active mentality.
Yes.
But day by day, they're passive.
Yes. Yes.
And that to me, like, it just really opened my eyes. And most people are like that, right? Because they're seeing their life in 5 and 10 year chunks, but they're forgetting that you've got to do something every day.
Yes.
To make that year work, to make that 5 years work, to make that 10 years work, right?
Yes, absolutely.
You can't dream yearly and live passively. It just doesn't work that way.
No. Well, 5 years is such a long time horizon. It's important that you set 5-year goals.
Of
But
course.
then you have to break those up into, okay, how much of that 5-year goal do I need to accomplish this year? Now,
Correct.
In investing, for example, I mean, you don't break it up and say, I want to do 20% year one and 20% year two, because at some point in time, your money starts compounding.
Absolutely.
Right? So it could be less, but you've got to break it down by design and say, okay, well, how much is going to happen by year 5? How much will happen by year 4, by year 3, by year 2, by year 1? And are you making valid assumptions? Maybe you get together with a mentor or a coach. In fact, I heard something said. I was watching ESPN day before yesterday, and because there's a lot going on with the.
Of course.
With basketball, the Rockets are doing well.
Rockets are doing great.
The Astros are heading to spring training and all that. So lots of exciting things are happening right now in sports. Well, one of the guys was talking about that there's going to be a new coach for the Green Bay Packers, and is. The quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers, is he coachable? I mean, what kind of problem is that going to be? He's a guy that's been in the league for a long time,
Correct.
New coach, older quarterback. Is he coachable? And what they said is, every great player wants to be coached. And so then that's one of the questions that I have for people listening is that, are you in the battlefield? Do you want to be coached, or do you want to figure it out on your own?
Yeah.
We'll
talk more. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and take a break.
All right.
We'll be back in about 4 minutes. We hope you'll join us. Right Path Real Estate Radio.
Sounds great.
Mic's off.
All right. Hey, were you playing music? I could kind of hear it, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I was.
Okay, you definitely need to turn that up.
Like that.
Good morning,
All right, got
Christina.
it.
Good
Okay.
morning, Billy.
Binders, and the agency
Ryan, Mr. Propelio, what's going on? Oscar, how are you?
team at Benchmark understands the
I
investment.
got your email. I'll respond to you after a while. Andy, good morning. Ashley, good morning. Brad, how are you, sir? Ronnie, what's up?
Benchmark Insurance.
Raymond, how are you? Serge, what's going on, brother?
4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Yeah, Andy, I could have sworn I did that one several times, but when I slowed down, apparently
Robert and Steve, good morning.
Help you purchase properties quickly with as little cash out of pocket as possible. Jet Lending
Yeah, like
also
even
sets up a repair
that
fund
versus
to help you with
that
repair
doesn't
costs.
make
Jet
sense.
Lending
It never
has
does.
originated over
Right.
2,000 loans in Texas, valued at over $250 million. Jet Lending will help you evaluate your deals for free.
But I have a feeling this has to do with people you're friends with.
Yeah, right.
And potential loan
Yeah.
amount.
John, how are you?
Jet Lending is
Good morning.
your fast and friendly hard money source for first-time investors and seasoned professionals. Call 281-872-7800 or email us at info@jetlending.com. Oh, and don't forget about our famous Third Wednesday Super Investor Networking Meeting. Lots of fun, lots of great real estate talk. We'll see you there.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties. Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys to success. Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done. Train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right.
I forwarded you an
complete the
email.
work in a
Yeah,
proper
I
order
saw
so
that.
it gets done
Mhm.
fast.
I saw that.
No more managing
I wasn't
it
quite
yourself,
sure.
no more doing
Yeah.
the work yourself. Fast
I'll
Track
give her a call
Remodeling
today.
really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992.
I don't know enough about the retail
Again,
side
that's
of
832-742-9992,
how that process works.
Yeah.
or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Do you have cracks in your brick?
1
doors
minute
that
till
stick,
back.
Or sheetrock
Thanks.
that's coming apart? Then you may have foundation movement. Due to our expansive soils in the Houston area, it's probably not a question of if you have movement, but when. Call Foundation Check for a truly independent, unbiased foundation evaluation. Foundation Check has been in business since 2009 and has completed over 1,400 evaluations. We're not in the business of repairing foundations or selling you unnecessary peer work, but we are in the business of evaluating your foundation. Our product is designed for house flippers, landlords, or even owner-occupied properties. Each of our files is reviewed by a licensed engineer. Remember to check before every repair. Call 346-702-3825. That's 346-702-3825. Or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com. That's foundationcheck.com.
This is Business 1110.
Mike's hot.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back.
It's not as funny when she says it when it is when Rick does.
Yeah, well, I mean,
different.
It is different. I mean, she could be fun. So, anyhow. So welcome back, Right Path Real Estate Radio. We've got a call-in number, 713-785-1817 if you want to call in, join in the conversation. We can be a resource to answer questions. If you're stuck someplace in building your real estate investing business, you know, we can teach you how to buy and hold. We can teach you how to buy, fix, and flip. We can teach you how to wholesale. All mainly in single family. I'm not a big fan of commercial right now.
Correct.
Not a big fan of multifamily right now, but I think that, you know, when I look at the 5 ways you can make money in single family real estate, I think it is better than anything you can do in a 401k. It's better than anything that you can do in anything else, in the stock market, in the bond market. The only thing that could potentially be better is if, you know, you were starting an oil and gas business or something like that, you know, you could make, you know, or, you know, medical business, something that you can make way more than 40% return on your money. But even there, I mean, like we know of a gentleman that owns his own business. Won't say what kind, but he's recently joined, he and his wife, and have a relatively newborn baby.
Yep.
And, you know, he owns his own business, does extremely well, and so it's now like, hey, I don't want to spend all of this money that I'm making. I want to invest it for a better future.
Absolutely.
And then it makes sense. And
Because he's a tenant, what he does.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
And he's creating resources.
Yes.
And instead of putting those resources in something that he's not comfortable with,
correct,
which he attempted.
Yes, right. Yeah. Yeah.
he shared a story, and immediately he jumped in right before that mini crash we had the day before.
Right.
So it's he wants to do something that's safe over the long term that he feels comfortable with. Right?
Yeah. Right.
We have a phone call from Chris.
Okay. Great. Well, let's get straight to the phone lines then. Hey, Chris, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Great. Thanks. How are you?
Good. So I went to you guys' 3-day event. Probably 2 years now.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think it was February. From Colorado, I flew down there.
Yeah.
Mr. Swain.
Went to the event, and so it was a great event.
Thanks.
Learned a lot, but I'm still stuck in getting started, and mostly not from, you know, I hear the message and I agree with the message and had the how-to, but I'm stuck with, you know, the life events that's holding me back from getting started. You know, bills, family, you know, that whole sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look for, and you know, I have good habits. You know, working extra, paying off bills, that sort of thing. But basically, I want to talk to something about how to get started when we're stuck, at the very, very, very bottom of this journey.
Yeah, so really it's about setting a goal. Like what would be a win for you like a year from now? And that's not so far in the future that you can't visualize doing it, but it's far enough away to where you got to decide this is something that's going to get me excited, get me fired up. Because, if it were me starting over, knowing what I know now, I didn't have any money, let's say, and I had family and some debt, things like that. Very first thing that I would do is I would start networking with people that were looking to deploy capital but didn't have the time to do it. In other words, so I'd start reaching out to people. I mean, we know of someone locally here in Houston that put together over 100 house rental portfolio with none of his own money, just by partnering. And although I see sometimes people partner with folks on money for flipping houses, and I'm not a fan of that, because when you look at what that cost of money is versus using hard money, for example,
super expensive.
It's super, super expensive. Because sometimes you'll make $50,000 on a flip, let's say, right? And I think that what happens is most people's ultimate goal is to get to the buy and hold, but because they lack the financing, they don't have the 20% down, or they don't have that gap funding. Then they say, well, I need to raise capital first. So they want to start wholesaling or flipping. And wholesaling and flipping is a different business than the buy and hold. The marketing is different. The whole process is different. Buying the houses is the same, but where you would market, the price range of houses that you would market. So like you're in Colorado. What city in Colorado are you in?
I'm north of Denver, an hour, so Greeley, Fort Collins, Loveland are the three closest bigger cities.
Yeah. So do you have any money at all to invest?
Like $10,000.
Okay.
Would be like the max right now.
Yeah. So you have like $10K. Okay, got it. So what are rentals going for in your marketplace? What's an average rental rate? In other words, can I go and rent a house? If I want to stay in near your neighborhood, I mean, are there areas that I can go and rent a house for $1,500 a month?
No.
No.
Maybe an apartment.
Maybe an apartment. Okay, so how much are houses renting for up there?
$2,000 to $2,800.
$2,000 to $2,800. Now that's a house that you would want to live in, or that's a house that anybody would want to live in?
Well, you can go to the quote unquote good side or bad side of town.
Yeah, sure, right.
I would say on the little bit on the nicer side of town, but not the best part of town. You're looking around $2,000.
So imagine that I'm a contractor. Maybe I'm not saying like a tile, but I'm a good painter, or I own a roofing business or something like that. How much would I be renting a house for in your area? If I'm not a master plumber, the guy that owns the plumbing business, but if I'm working as a tradesman, an electrician, or I've got a good job, it's paying well, I'm not killing a fat hog, so to speak, but what would I be paying a month in rent?
Yeah, it's going to be close to that $2,000. It's very, very expensive right now over here.
Okay, got it. So then, how much can I buy that house for? Can I buy it for $200,000, or is it more than that?
Probably $300 to $350.
Yeah. So then you've got a situation based on appreciation, kind of like our Seattle folks or our San Francisco folks. So are there any other areas outside of your area? So how far would I have to go outside of your area where I where I have more affordable housing? Because it sounds like housing is in a short supply right now. About an hour away.
Yep.
So how much would I buy a good rental house for an hour away then?
Well, I don't know the market that well, but I would say probably $225. Okay.
So then I'd start running the math. If I buy a house for $225, does it get $1,900, $2,000 a month? And I'd start running the math, and then I'd be looking for partnering with people that want to use their financial resources, because if in Houston right now, we can buy a house for about $150,000 in a decent neighborhood. I mean, it's got okay schools, and it's where salt of the earth, hardworking, blue collar people are gonna live, right? It's not a bad neighborhood. It's not a neighborhood that I'm gonna feel unsafe, and I can buy that house for about $150,000 total, and it rents for $1,500 a month. So if I put $30,000 down and borrow the other $120,000, I'm leveraged 5 to 1, and you've heard that message before, right? And so when I look at the appreciation that I'm getting in that market, and you're getting apparently even more appreciation. I mean, y'all's market's probably super hot in terms of appreciation.
Yeah, their median home price is around $400,000, and their median rent price is just over $2,000.
Yeah, that's great.
That doesn't add up.
No, it doesn't. Right, which is kind of the way that Seattle and San Francisco have gone.
Exactly.
I mean, there's really no place in California that I know of where it cash flows, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of people in California, for example, they buy counting on the appreciation so much so that they go negative cash flow.
Yep.
But I don't like that strategy because there's plenty of other places in the country where you can do that. But if I look at that if I get 7% appreciation in Houston, but I'm leveraged 5 to 1, now I've got 35%. So if I partner with somebody and I'm splitting the appreciation and I'm splitting the cash flow and I'm splitting the depreciation, all those advantages. They're not doing the work, but I am. But they're still getting 20, 25% rates of return on their money, and you're getting the other half. And so you can deploy capital that way really, really fast, but I'm not sure that it works in your market area. I'd have to study your area. I'm not an expert in what's going on north of Denver right now. I mean, I could look at it, probably take me an hour to figure it out. I mean, the research it can be done. It's not it's not that difficult. So that's what I'd be looking to do, though, is like Quest IRA, for example, or I'm sure y'all have some real estate events up there where you've got private money people. I mean, do you realize it's not a tough sale to when you say, hey, look, I want to put in the work and let me show you the numbers, and I think we can get 15, 16, 17% rates of return if we're partnering up.
Correct.
I mean, that's a better rate of return than almost anyone has access to with very, very limited risk on the risk side.
And I would also imagine y'all have got a pretty good fix and flip market going on up there, correct?
Yeah, that's where people are making the money right now.
So
with fix and flip.
with $10,000, you could put together some smaller marketing campaigns to go after some of those flip houses for those flip investors.
Yeah.
Or you could go after them to flip for yourself, and then just make sure you buy it right and use hard money, and go the flip route as well. At least until the appreciation in that area slows down.
Does that help, Chris?
So what I've run into the past too is, I've put out my $5,000, $10,000, and not gotten a deal, and then I'm back at square one. But now I'm out $10,000, and
so what time period did you put that out over?
Yeah, because that's the thing is that, like when we started Houston House Buyers, one of the things people don't realize is that it takes there's a lag time of about 90 to 120 days that you've got to count on from the time you deploy the capital in marketing till the time that it starts paying back. When we started Houston House Buyers, we spent $5,000 in July, we spent $5,000 in August, we spent $5,000 in September, and we didn't get anything. So we were $15,000 into it, already spending the $5,000 in September. Music says I'm out of time. We'll keep talking about this on the other side of the break. Chris, thanks for calling in. We'll be right back.
All right. Do you guys want me to stay on, or you want me to get off?
No, we can go ahead and answer it. We can answer it off air. Thanks, though.
Do you have cracks in your brick, doors that stick, or sheetrock that's coming apart? Then you may have foundation movement. Due to our expansive soils in the Houston area, it's probably not a question of if you have movement, but when. Call Foundation Check for a truly independent, unbiased foundation evaluation. Foundation Check has been in business since 2009 and has completed over 1,400 evaluations. We're not in the business of repairing foundations or selling you unnecessary pier work, but we are in the business of evaluating your foundation. Our product is designed for house flippers, landlords, or even owner-occupied properties. Each of our files is reviewed by a licensed engineer. Remember to check before ever repair. Call 346-702-3825. That's 346-702-3825. Or you can reach us online at FoundationCheck.
Good morning, Ginger. Good morning, Nora.
That's FoundationCheck.com.
Hello, real estate investors. Do you need a lender that moves fast at the speed of a jet to fund your investment properties?
Jet Lending will help you purchase properties quickly with as little cash out of pocket as possible. Jet Lending also sets up a repair escrow fund to help you with repair costs. Jet Lending has originated over 2,000 loans in Texas, valued at over $250 million. Jet Lending will help you evaluate your deals for free and give you feedback on value, cost of repairs, and potential loan amount. Jet Lending is your fast and friendly hard money source for first-time investors and seasoned professionals. Call 281-872-7800 or email us at info@jetlending.com. Oh, and don't forget about our famous Third Wednesday Super Investor Networking Meeting. Lots of fun, lots of great real estate talk. We'll see you there.
Time is money in a real estate deal. If your insurance company is slow or non-responsive, you could lose a deal like that. You need a quick turnaround on quotes or binders? The agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. We're here for you. Are you a rehabber, wholesaler, buy and hold, or flipper? Bundling your properties on a single policy will help save time and money. Benchmark has been in business for over 10 years, and we insure over 30,000 properties. Contact Benchmark about our exclusive investor package. Call us and let us show you what we can do for you at 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at
We got an appointment
benchmarkbroker.com.
before base camp tomorrow
That's
night.
benchmarkbroker.com.
I sent you a calendar invite.
That's
Okay.
281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property?
We're 1 minute
Then
till
call
back.
Fast Track
Thanks.
Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties. Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys to success. Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done, train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself, no more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992, or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
This is Business 1110.
And your mics are hot.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. So we had Chris joined us on the by call in. Thanks for calling in, Chris. So 2 things. One is, there's plenty of money out there.
Correct.
In fact, when you look at how much, in fact, it's one of the reasons why the stock market is so high right now, is if you understand anything about supply and demand, when there's more demand for investments, because there's more money to be deployed than there are investments to go into,
yep.
then you end up with some outrageous valuations.
Correct.
Excuse me. In fact, somebody was saying what Apple's PE ratio had just gone to, and they said it was I think above 30, right? So let me see if that's accurate right now. Apple PE ratio. Let's look. So it's basically stock prices dropping. Oh, so it's not that bad. It's according to 2020 estimates. This is an estimated PE, so not an actual PE.
Yeah, we're looking for what's going on right now.
Yeah, what's going on right now.
Not what they think's going to happen next
Yeah,
year.
right. Yeah, right. So they're saying it's estimated to be about 14.90, almost 15 times, which, we've given this scenario a bunch in terms of what's the price that you would pay for a business if the business produced $1 million a year net profit.
Yeah, so at a 15 PE, you're paying $15 million.
Correct. Yeah, and so a lot of people are out way before $10 million, yet are buying stocks that are 24, 25, 26 PE, which means for every $1 million. Now, all that's to say that, that means that there's a lot of people that if they're shown how real estate works, that that they're in a first lien position or that they're partnered on a piece of property. And there's lots of different ways to do that, whether it's an equity participation mortgage or whether you create a new LLC and you have co-ownership in that LLC, or it's a straight lending play. I know of people that would be happy to make 6, 7, 8, 9% interest. And so could you buy that property, for interest only? Do like a 5-year, 8% interest only, where that person's in a first lien position. You're not paying any principal down, but you're getting equity captured typically when you buy it. I would borrow enough for the purchase and the rehab.
Correct.
And so then can you look and see what that cash flow's at? And you end up buying, even at $225, if the house is $225 and it rents for $2,000 a month, and I'd have to look and see what their taxes and insurance is. I would assume
at interest only, you would definitely be cash flowing, and you would still be getting the appreciation.
So $225 times 0.08 is $18,000 a year, so about $1,500. Hold on, divided by, let's see. 225 divided by, or times 0.8% is 18,000 a year divided by 12. So you'd be at about 1,500 a month.
Correct.
So then what is your taxes and insurance? If it's less than $500 a month, it's a break even or cash flow.
Yes.
So here's the question with appreciation: is that house in 3 or 4 years? Will that house be a 325 house? Will it be, what will it be? Is it growing at 10% per year? Yeah. Which I think it is in the Colorado marketplace.
For sure.
Then you've added $75,000 to your net worth in only 3 years, about $25,000 a year. So imagine
with no money out of pocket, really.
So could you do that with 5 houses, and in 3 years end up with 5 times, let's call it 20, $100,000 a year, $300,000 in equity in 3 years?
Yeah.
Versus the alternative. I mean, that's with 5 houses. So that's one way to do it. That's borrowing at 8%. And
so, Chris, what he's saying is when he says there's plenty of money out there, is one thing is I can tell you, and a lot of people struggle with that here in Houston as well. They think they have to have the money before they have the deal. So what you need to figure out is how do you get the deal, and then the money will take care of itself. So what is that? Are you when you're deploying that money for marketing, are you deploying it in small enough pieces to go long term, or are you spreading it out real wide and going through it real quick?
Yeah.
So when you have a limited budget like that, you want to take your geographical area in a lot smaller, and have a much smaller marketing budget that you can stretch out over a period of time.
Yeah, or even like in Houston right now, we're seeing that there are deals on MLS, but if you were scanning for is this a deal or not, you would say it's not a deal.
Correct.
But in fact, I was talking to an agent yesterday late afternoon, and super nice lady, and she's amazed at when she sees some properties listed at 180, for example, and then they sell for sometimes $60,000, $70,000 less than that, and it's because, the seller is a little bit delusional about what the value of the property is worth, and then the marketplace pretty quickly will tell you what the
or they just have absolutely no clue, and they don't want to undershort themselves, so they go out and let the market do it for them.
Yes, right. So you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. Our number is 713-785-1817 if you want to call in and join in the conversation. If you're stuck anywhere in your business, if it's buy, fix, and flip, if it's wholesaling, if it's buy and hold, we like buy, fix, and flip. We like wholesaling, but we love, love, love buy and hold. That's where wealth and income is generated. Right now, we're seeing people that are averaging 35, 40, 45% rates of return. And again, my disclaimer is, past performance doesn't equal future results, and
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. I mean, if we go to war with North Korea, then all bets are off, that kind of stuff. So, but when I look at, that would be the same if you were in the stock market or things like that. But what I recognize is that if you're buying a piece of property, single family houses have a trend line that has always gone up.
Yes.
Sometimes what happens is if you look at that trend line, sometimes the marketplace has risen above the trend line, and it has a tendency to want to correct and get back to the trend line over a long period of time. But what I can tell you is that houses, what you could buy a house for in the 60s, you can't buy anywhere a house for that.
No.
And talk about my family bought a house in the early 70s, in the $30,000 range. I mean, low 30s, like total 30,000 and some change. And now, lots over there are going for in the 600s.
Yep.
And when you look at that kind of, granted, that's 40 something years, right? Or it's over a long time period. But look at how many doubles that is.
That's a lot of doubles.
That's a lot of doubles.
Absolutely.
And so, we've been seeing that it's about a 7, 8, 9, 10% appreciation year over year over year over year when you're staying below the median home price and you're staying below replacement costs.
Yes.
Those properties seem to be appreciating faster. And we'd like to teach you about how to do this. If this sounds like something you'd be interested in, you've never taken a look at this before, show up. We're going to do a free lunch event this Thursday. It's going to be at 12 noon. It's going to be at our offices at 13501 Katy Freeway. You don't have to write that down right now. All you got to do is go to rightpathrealestate.com. That's rightpathrealestate.com. You can register for the event. It's totally free of charge, which is, absolutely incredible that you can come learn that much. And more surprising is I'm amazed at how many people get awakened to what their current situation is
in that hour.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, you typically don't walk out with the same thoughts you walked in with. That's for sure.
Yeah. In fact, I saw an ad recently. It was for TD Ameritrade or some, one of the financial planning groups, and they said, and it was basically the guy saying, I feel like I'm 55 years old. I'm not ready for retirement. I mean, I need to play catch up. And let's sit down and put a plan together for you.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, there's not a plan.
There's not
that exists through the financial marketplace that get you from where you are. If there were a plan like that, then we'd have a much higher success rate from people that have their 401k or investing in the marketplace, things like that. We'd have a greater than 1% of the total account holders, and we'd have a 25, 30, 40% of the account holders that would be reaching $1 million.
I agree
by the
with you
time
totally.
But we don't have that. We have less than 1%. So when you have less than 1%, it's just not working for really anybody except for the hedge fund managers, the Fidelities of the world. I mean, those guys, they're making fees out the wazoo.
And even the people that are reaching $1 million, is it working for them?
No.
Because if you haven't done the math,
that's not enough.
That's not even $5,000 a month to live on.
Not for 20 years.
No.
Right.
Or unless you're planning on having a really short retirement, it's not enough.
It's not.
It's just not.
And yet we've seen people through single family real estate grow
2 minutes.
$600,000-$800,000
in a year.
Right. That's exactly right. In a year's time. Starting out with, in fact, one case we just had a case study this past Thursday, and he bought 12 properties in the last year, captured over $600,000 of equity capture.
In about 18 months.
And 7 of those properties he had no money out of pocket.
7 out of the 12.
Yeah, and so some of them, sometimes you can buy with seller financing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can buy subject to, and so I like those strategies. And if you're short on cash, things like the only problem that I don't like about subject to when you're short on cash is that it's not like you can get into zero money out of pocket.
Yeah.
I mean,
if there's a problem.
Right.
How are you going to bail that out?
I think that you're going to be on average somewhere between $8,000 and $25,000 out of pocket, and sometimes more. I think it's hard to get one for less than $8,000 out of pocket.
Yeah.
And so if you've only got 10,
1 minute.
then that leaves you in a difficult situation. But partnering on buy and holds, I love that strategy. It's one of the few areas where I really love partnering with someone so that somebody puts up the money. I don't like it for wholesaling for sure. I don't like it for flipping, definitely. But I do like it for buy and hold.
Yes.
So you're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. I've got less than 30 seconds left. I want to give out our website. It's rightpathrealestate.com. That's rightpathrealestate.com. It is free to register for our Wealth Through Real Estate Workshop. That's our Wealth Through Real Estate Workshop. It's where we're going to teach you how to compare what you're doing now with what you could be doing in real estate and how to build wealth quickly and efficiently through real estate. 90% of all millionaires get there through real estate. Why not you? Music says I'm out of time. I'll be right back. Just
Mics are
letting it all hang out. She's brand.
Hey, Chris, no problem. You're welcome, man. Maribel, good morning. Johel, good morning.
If you're in Houston, the next best thing to a brick house is Hardy siding. I like.
They never made any songs about Hardy siding.
No,
it's
really
weird.
It's kind of crazy.
It's really weird.
Now, if you're in Minnesota, that doesn't work so much.
It's not the same in Minnesota.
In Minnesota, Hardy's not a good alternative in Minnesota.
You could lose a
So,
deal like that.
So
You need
there's
a quick
that.
turnaround on quotes or binders. The agency for that is Benchmark Insurance Group of Texas. The team at Benchmark understands the investor mindset. They know what you need and when you need it. We're here for you. Are you a rehabber, wholesaler, buy and hold, or flipper? Bundling your properties on a single policy will help save time and money. Benchmark has been in business for over 10 years, and we insure over 30,000 properties. Contact Benchmark about our exclusive investor package. Call us and let us show you what we can do for you at 281-569-4353. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com. That's benchmarkbroker.com. That's 281-569-4353. Or online at benchmarkbroker.com.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties. Whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab, we manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 6 years, Fast Track has completed over 700 projects, which has helped us to create our 3 keys to success. Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done, train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right, and complete the work in a proper order so it gets done fast.
No more managing it yourself, no more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992, or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Selecting a foundation company and their product
We're
for
30
repair
minutes
is a
till
lot
back.
like a game of chance.
It was a long time.
You simply don't know what you're going to get. The foundation
30
repair
seconds.
specialist
Oops, my bad.
doesn't carry a license, nor is it
I couldn't help it.
However, Foundation Check
I'm tired
utilizes
today. I can't.
professional
I'm
engineers
sorry.
to review all of our files to give you the best foundation analysis in today's market. Remember to check before every repair. Call 346-702-3825, or you can reach us online at foundationcheck.com.
This is Business 1110.
Okay. 30 minutes till we come back.
And your mics are hot, guys.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Man, that was a 30-minute break. It didn't seem that long.
Went by really quick.
It went by really, really fast. So, all right. So we've got this show's gone
It
fast.
did go by really fast. We had a lot of different habits we were planning on talking about today, but we had a call in, and we really love when that happens. So thank you, Chris. But before we get off the air, let's talk about an easy habit.
Yes.
To help you reach your goals, and that's listening to us on a daily basis.
Yes, right.
So schedule it. You can like us on Facebook and get a notification. You can also text.
I have to admit, I don't really understand the whole Facebook algorithm. Like what So what I'd ask is people that like our Facebook page, give us some likes or loves on the comments.
Yes, absolutely.
And then also if you would share on your pages, just go down and there's a share section. I know on ours, mine's to the side over here because I get on Facebook through Google and just click share. And I share it on my personal page and share it with your friends and family, because here's what I recognize is that the more friends and family that you have getting involved in real estate, the more likely that they're going to be able to afford a vacation where you want a vacation, to do the kind of things that you want to do, and you can spend more time. Imagine what kind of impact you would have on other people's lives if you became wealthy, but your friends and family did as well.
Or maybe they've already got some resources in learning what we do and how we do it, and if you can connect with them on that, maybe they can help you fund some of your deals.
Right. It's really about building relationships along the way as you're building your wealth, and that's what successful people do.
Absolutely.
When I stop and think about, can you imagine what kind of relationships does like the guy that owns Virgin, right? I mean,
yeah.
Sir Richard Branson.
Oh man, I tell you what.
Now, here's the question: is take away all his wealth, does he have the wealth because of the relationships, or does he have the relationships because of the wealth? And I would submit that he has the wealth because of the relationships.
I would say that's probably correct, because typically when people get to that level, they're seeing past the people that are having the relationships because of the wealth.
Correct.
So they're not even involved in that kind of thing.
Exactly right. So it's the wealth comes as a result of the relationships, not the other way around. So build relationships with people. Start trying to, I love the Zig Ziglarism, help enough other people get what they want in life, and yours is an automatic. And one of the things that we want to do at Right Path is to help you create a better future for yourself and
Correct.
your family. And you know, if you're in a job right now, I'm not saying that you need to quit your job. You know, you may want to do that, but
Yeah.
let's replace your income with passive income before
First.
you do that. Let's
Yeah.
show you how. And like Chris came in from Colorado, came to our event, said it was worth the trip down. And so, regardless of where you're listening, whether it's Seattle, New York, New Jersey, Florida, wherever you are, we can teach you how to invest in real estate so that it works in your market. Or if it doesn't, I don't. We've got a guy in San Francisco right now that he buys 2 to 3 houses a month right here in Houston, Texas.
Correct.
And we assist him in finding those deals and vetting those deals and things like that. So he's putting his capital to work. He and his mom are investing
Just because
together.
it doesn't make sense where they are.
It does not make sense where they are. So there are markets where it doesn't make sense.
Yes.
2 minutes.
Currently, anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So go over to rightpathrealestate.com, then rightpathrealestate.com, register for the Wealth Through Real Estate Workshop, and it's free to go. And then we need to figure out a way where people can attend that so that when they're out of state, we've got to be able to Zoom that.
We'll get with Andy and see if we can put that together and do a live, do some kind of live webinar with it.
Absolutely. Okay, so you've been
All
listening
right.
to Right Path Real Estate Radio. We'll work on that. You work on setting your goals. Your number one thing that you could do in the next 24 hours before I'm back on the radio tomorrow is define, number one, how much is your time worth? And are you doing the things that are worthy of that time? And start outsourcing the things that aren't worthy of your time. And then the second thing is set a goal. Where do you want to be a year from now or 3 years from now or 5 years from now, income-wise? And let's figure out a way what that looks like. Oftentimes I see people say, I want to make $300,000 flipping houses next year. And they want to flip 10 houses, but they start flipping in $150,000 price range.
One
And that's
minute.
a bad
That
price
doesn't work.
range for 2 reasons. And we go over a lot of that kind of stuff through our Wealth Through Real Estate Academy, where it makes a lot of sense, where people are not doing the right things, and we teach them how to do the right things so that they get results faster. So, all right, how much time do we have?
About 30 seconds
About
or so.
30 seconds. So anything you want to add?
Just one of my big things as far as habits go is DMO.
Yeah.
Wake up every day with a purpose.
Yes.
Have a goal in mind, not just for that year, for that 5 years, but
30
have a goal in
seconds
mind
left.
for that day. And, when you're accomplishing things on a daily basis and you can string those days together, that's when you have a great year.
Yes.
And when you do that year after year, that's when you have a
Seconds.
great 5 years. And when you do that 5 years after 5 years, that's how you have a great life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it really does break down to what are you doing today?
Yes. Yeah,
10
I see that's a major area where people are missing. All you got to do is go to rightpathrealestate.com, register for the free Wealth Through Real Estate Workshop. That's how you get started, guys. Or if you want to go straight to the Wealth Through Real Estate Academy, you can do that too. So thanks for listening, guys. Have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to Right Path.
This is Jason Bible with Right Path Radio. Look, if you're new to real estate or you're experienced and you just want a little help with wholesaling, flipping,